r/antiwork. Fatheralazzi says. Viva La Rvolution. Included photo. Phoenix_Volatilis says. Seems like a good game plan for the USA. Blitz12 says. As a Brit, the ability and willingness of the French to rebel against power, whether now or in history, is something I heavily respect. Astropixel Collector says. Vive Bachiller, Mergers Frights, the striker's meal, since July 1830. Eccentric Rand says. French people when you tell them there will be snacks at the function strike. Revolutionary Tell 668 says. I wish we had even half their solidarity in the US. Mangad 25 says. Props to food stand owners around the world, the MFS are the best to adapt and more dedicated than mailmen, rain, hail, snow, or ides they jaff. r/antiwork. John Bl says. Which one to choose? Included photo. Arizona Greg says. Well, someone has to, frick, his wife. International Bad 84 says. My big boss was really rude to me over nothing one day. My immediate supervisor was all don't stress about it, clearly something else bothered them, and you happened to catch it. Just ridiculous. I'm expected to, and do, maintain a professional standard of conduct at all times, but someone who earns twice what I earn can chuck a tanty? As you can tell, I'm still salty about it. Still, they gave me a great reference for my current job, so maybe they felt guilty. Endless Campaign says. If we could add a break boss knees in there somewhere in the mix, I'll be happy. Shadow says. Finance Department gangbang. r/antiwork. Riach Spats der Welt says. We are in this together. Included photo. Addicted to Mosh 161 says. Capitalism is basically mandatory PvP. And mandatory PvP is shit. Gregswa 2000 says. Not interested in stepping on other people for a better job. Not interested in stepping on other people for passive income. Clickbait 1025 says. Agreed. The two-party system is a scam to get us to hate each other, rather than focus on the people actually controlling and exploiting us. Clock Important 5770 says. Businesses should be owned by the workers, run democratically, with profits being democratically distributed. Socialism is the future. Harry Balsack 420 says. Great message. The system wants us divided and fighting so we don't notice what is really going on. It is working. Detective McNulty says. This is a sign that I can agree with. LQco says. I'm competing with homelessness. Professional_1199 says. Competition drives personal growth for 85% plus of people, but yeah, let's make the majority suffer to help the minority. Halisham says. Exactly. Remember, our enemies are the exploiters stealing from all of us under threat of homelessness, starvation, and police crackdown. Should we so much opt out, let alone consider fighting back? There are no workers who are our enemies. Particular_city 8252 says. Dude, 100%. They set us up like a game of Halo, where we all take teams and kill each other. While they rake in the profits on their private islands and yachts and shit. What's 2988 says. It is not enough that I should succeed, but others should fail. Lightrigger 1 says. To quote L. Thomas, you all I got. Rest of the DBS, that's all we need. r/antiwork. Deleted says. How the system devalues your labor. Included photo. Soggy_gargoyle says, shrinkflation is so real. Regardless of where manufactured, goods are trash quality these days. A person should only have to buy like 2 sets of screwdrivers lifetime. Occupa says, I always found it funny how pretty much everything can just jump in cost, and we just have to accept it, but wages seem to be the only thing that can just remain stagnant. This will only widen the delta between people's income and expenses, forcing them to constantly seek better jobs, no more staying in one place for years, taking on more jobs, or simply lowering standard of living by cutting expenses. The sad thing is even a raise means little, unless it significantly outpaces inflation. Otherwise the difference between your current income and expenses keeps staying the same instead of shrinking, so you don't really feel like you got a raise at all. DBA 1990 says, capitalize profits, socialize expenses. Gregswa 2000 says, this absolutely misses the point that businesses are largely in control of prices for things with inelastic demand. Runkind 4141 says, eggs are now 10 to 15 times what they were in 2021. Nemuman says, other than maybe bank level, which is conceivably separate, though not unrelated, if you're talking about the Fed, literally all of these are just inflation exists. Robotic Jello says, raising interest rates makes less people take on debt, which makes money more scarce, which makes your dollar worth more. Interest rates were too low for far too long, and rich people were taking out loans to throw money in the stock market. That's how we get recessions. Deleted says, for those interested, even if you got a raise in the last 3 years, that's roughly a 7% pay cut for every person doing the same amount of work, or more, now for even less money. Venom Thamad says, this is more anti-establishment, but we are speaking the same language. r/anti-work. United Lab 6476 says, wage theft outnumbers other types of criminal theft by almost 50-1. Included photo. Triumph Wonder Pooch says, awkward presentation. $14 billion vs $50 billion, yet stating 50x. I'm inferring that the 50x is 50 times some of those individual categories of theft that were all rolled up into the $14 billion, but showing those numbers as is very odd and seems incorrect. That being said, wage theft is huge and sucks and should be penalized more than it is now. CPRB says, not just that, but look at how much media coverage there is for companies losing money due to shoplifters vs media coverage when a company is accused or taken to court over wage theft. The difference in media coverage is depressing. Yeah, let's write multiple articles on how people are stealing because they cannot afford to buy the basics, but yet not write a damn thing about multi-million-dollar companies stealing wages from their employees. It's bullshit. And they claim that shoplifting is raising prices and not the buyback of shares, the payouts to shareholders, or the thousands upon thousands handed out as bonuses to already stupidly wealthy executives. BNH 1978 says, funny thing. You start working for some places and they start telling you how you steal wages from them by checking your phone at work or passing too long. Serpadorisis says, tells much about who is governing you. Hint, not thieves but SL. Elbit Justice Zero says, your math is off. Like 14x off. But the point you are making is good. r/anti-work. Captain Jill says, big tech right now. Included photo. Ecstatic Society 4040 says, Google made tens of billions in profits and didn't need to lay people off. This move was entirely to please shareholders. Narabin Anderson says, automate the C-level. Deathpill 911 says, they know what they're doing. Capitalism is about profit, so every person is trying to get the most they can out of the system. Everyone in the hierarchy is stealing the labor from the people below them. Tuba says, except instead of laying off 75% of Swez and 0% management, they laid off 6% of both. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.